Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you've all had a brilliant morning and you managed to get some lunch and you are ready for this afternoon's Wonder lessons. So, as we know, our Monday lessons are going to be our history. And I wonder if you can tell me, what topic are we learning about in history this year in year 3? Because you've all done some brilliant work on it. Fantastic. We are learning about ancient Greece. So let me share my screen with you and we will get started. So last week I asked you, or we looked at in our lesson, the independent city-states of ancient Greece. And I was blown away again with how well you guys did with the task. I asked you to draw a map of ancient Greece and label the city-states and then go away and find some research about each one and what each one was important for. So each week I'm going to showcase and give a whoop honk and a big shout out to one child. So this week I've chosen Artems from Albert Einstein class, who, as you can see here, looks very proud of himself. So well done, Artems. Mrs. Weston will have put 2 aiming high dojos on for you because you've done some fantastic work. You've gone above and beyond. We've got color on here. We've got some detail in the mountains. We've got all the city-states labeled. Good. And then we've got these facts, bullet points about each one. So well done, Artems, but well done to all the other children that sent it in as well. Fantastic learning around the independent city-states of ancient Greece. Make sure you keep that handy because it's all going to build into our learning around ancient Greece. So our next concept that we are going to be learning about with the ancient Greeks is the gods and goddesses. Now, one of your wonder challenges was to research them and to draw one. So I know that we know that the Greeks believed in gods and goddesses, but today we're going to look at the names of them, and each god or goddess was responsible for a different area of life. They were the god of something or the goddess of something, and we're going to look at that today. It's going to be another research-based one, and then you're going to produce something called a tree map for me at the end of the lesson. Let's start with this. We know that one of the city-states that you found last week was called Mount Olympus. And we know that at the top of this mountain is where all the Greek gods and goddesses lived. Okay, they lived in a temple on top of Mount Olympus. So there were about between 12 and 14 main Greek gods and goddesses. And it's important that we know the difference between what a god is and what a goddess is. Gods were male and goddesses were female. Our what for today is going to be to know the ancient Greek gods and goddesses and their names. How are we going to do that? New learning is practice because we haven't looked at all of the names yet. And why? So that we can create our tree map to show the relationships between them. I will speak more about that in a minute. Okay. So here we are going to go through the names of the different Greek gods and goddesses. I'm not going to read all the information because that is going to be your researching task, sure. So let's go through saying the names of them because some of them are a little bit tricky to pronounce. So first of all, we have Zeus. My turn, your turn. Zeus. Well done. Down here, we have Poseidon. Well done. Aries. Well done. Oh, not that one. Then we have Aphrodite. Helping me with the pronunciation here. Hermes. Well done. Hades. Athena. Hera. This one. Demeter. Good, well done. Hopefully you're repeating these back with me so we know how to say them. Apollo. Apollo. Artemis. Artemis. Good, and our last page. Hephaestus. Hephaestus. Dionysus. And the final one, Hestia. Hestia. So there we have our Greek gods and goddesses, remembering that a god is a male, so it is a man, and the goddesses are female, so they are women. And I'm going to introduce you now to a tree map. So hopefully you can see this on your screen. And I'm going to explain to you how it works first of all, and then I'm going to explain to you what it is you are going to be doing. As you can see at the top here, we've got our title or our start point, and we are focusing on ancient Greek gods and goddesses. Goddesses is a bit of a tricky spelling. Me and Mr. Jones keep getting that wrong. So have a look. 2 Ds, 2 S's. And I've put a little reminder. So it branches out into gods, which are male, and goddesses on this side, which are female. Then underneath you'll see I have 6 separate arrows going down. This is where I'm going to write the names of the gods. So I'm going to use my research. I'm going to use these little slips and slides that I've got here. So I'm going to say, right, Athena was the goddess of wisdom. So she's a goddess. So Athena would go on one of my arrows here. Now, you will notice that I've already added Zeus as a god and Hera as a goddess. Now, there's a reason I've added these two for you already as a bit of a start point. Zeus was considered the king of the gods, okay? And he was married to Hera, who was the queen of the goddesses. So they were married and they had 2 children. So I've put an extra branch coming down on our tree map here, because I would like you in your research to find out what was the name of their 2 children. So your task is to read through these slides. You can pause the video at any point. So we've got these 4. Pause the video. Let me give you an example one. So let me find Zeus. This is what I'd like you to do. So I would read all this information that I've got here about Zeus. I want to know if he's a god or a goddess and what he was the god of. That's what we're going to look at for a minute. So Zeus was the most powerful of all the gods. He was the god of the sky and the king of Olympus. This is what you're going to do. I would write Zeus on one of my arrows from the gods. Underneath, I would like a bullet point explaining what they were the god of. So it would just be Zeus, bullet point, god of the sky. Then I would find another god, write their name, bullet point underneath, what were they the god of? Exactly the same for the females. So let me give you an example for the females. If I was looking at Aphrodite, I would read all of this. So I've got some knowledge around her. Aphrodite was the goddess of love and beauty. Then I would go back to my tree map. I would write Aphrodite in, and I'll have to get the spelling correct because they're quite tricky, with a capital letter for her name. So Aphrodite, underneath, a bullet point, what was she the goddess of? Love and beauty. So that is what I would like you to do for today's task. I'm just going to go back through these so you can pause the video. There's your first set. Pause the video and read those ones. There's your second set. Pause the video while you read them. There's your next ones. Hera, Demeter, Apollo, and Artemis. Pause the video while you read those ones. And there's your last 3. So pause the video while you read those. Now, these can be pretty tricky to set out. I'm just going to go back off that in a minute. And I'm going to show you what one of the year 3s from last year's looked like. Now, you will need a double page for this. So in your book, you're going to go across 2 pages. You will need a ruler to draw one of these out. You only need to draw the lines. You don't need to draw the boxes. You can just write the words there. Okay. So here, as you can see, is one from last year. Their title is Gods and Goddesses, which I want yours to be. Then we've got it split into gods on this side and goddesses over here. Then it branches down. I've got the names of all my gods, and you can, it's a bit blurry, but can you see how they've just put the bullet points underneath of what they were the god of? And then in the middle, I've got my 2 arrows going down to show me the gods and goddesses. So this is what I would like yours to look like, please. You will need a ruler if you have one. And I would like the spelling of all the gods and goddesses correct because they are on my slides. Let me just go back and share that with you one last time so you know what you're doing. This is what I would like to see from you. So you've got the date, Monday, the 18th of January, 2021. You've got the title, History. Turn your book, Landscape, across a double page. And this is what I would like. So, ancient gods and goddesses, that would be in the middle of your page. You've got your line going down, split it into gods, goddesses. What are the name of the 6 gods? Bullet point under each one with their powers. What are the god of? Goddess is the same. Names, spelled correctly, bullet point underneath, goddess of da da da. Fantastic. And this is our tree map because it's got the branches that keep going down and split it up into different parts. So, also, I know that some of you did some great research during our Wonder Challenges in the first week. If you have got any information on those, you can use those as well, or you can do your own research. My little slides will help you find the names of them and what they were the god or goddess. A brilliant afternoon. Make sure you send these over to us on Portfolio when they're finished, because they're going to help us with not only our history work, but you can use some of this when you write your final non-chronological report with Miss McCabe in English. Okay, so it's going to help not only in history, but applying it to our English work as well. Thank you. Goodbye. See you soon. Good night.